What's up, guys? Welcome back to Friday Fridays here on Drew Review in what is the final Friday Friday. And today I've skipped ahead to what I feel is the last really good movie of the original series, and that is Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And it's next on Drew Reviews. So, guys, after the franchise went to new lows with Friday the 13th Part 5, there are some things I like about that movie, but it's not very good. There's nowhere to go but up. And up it went with the sixth movie in the franchise, Jason Lives. I absolutely love and adore Jason Lives. And I love that director Tom McLaughlin took this kind of like in a monster movie direction. This is the first zombie Jason. And so it's got a lot of Frankenstein-like aspects there. But it's also very self-aware, very fourth wall breaking before that was even a thing. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. And I think that's what I like about this movie. It's more of a dark comedy than a thriller. The basic plot of Part 6 is you've got Tom Matthews, and he plays Tommy Jarvis, who's returning, and he's there at Jason's grave. He's digging him up, just to make sure he's dead. And of course, his corpse gets hit by a bolt of lightning. He's resurrected, and he slows zombie Jason. And this is where that started. Played masterfully by C.J. Graham. He's one of my favorite Jasons. He's top 5 for sure. But basically, from that point on, it's Tommy telling everybody in the town, hey, Jason's back, and nobody believing him, including the Sheriff Garris. And while Garris has Tommy locked up, Jason's just going on a killing spree. And everything Tommy says is going to happen is happening out there. And they think he's got something to do with it. Garris's daughter, Megan, of course, helps set him free, and they have an interesting relationship there. I like that love interest. And all of her friends are there at Camp Crystal Lake counseling these kids. And I really like the fact that there's actually kids in this camp, and Jason's coming in. And will he kill these kids or will he not? He never really gets that far. But I like that danger is there in the back of your mind. But anyway, they end up having this climactic battle. So as I said in the beginning, I love the feel, the atmosphere of this movie. It's palpable. I like the locations where this was set at. This was filmed down in Georgia. And I keep telling my wife, on one of these vacations, I'm going to go there and I'm going to jump off that dock. There to the right, wherever Jason was in the water. I'm sick like that. I've always wanted to do that. But I love that location, and I love all of the cabins that they have there, and definitely want to check that out. Tom Matthews is Tommy Jarvis. I like Corey Feldman in Part 4, and I don't like him all that much in 5. He's not in it much because he was doing the Goonies, but Tom Matthews is my Tommy Jarvis. I know, like my friend Brandon, he says the same thing. He portrays his character so well throughout this movie. He gives him a toughness. Speaking of tough, the final girl in this movie, Megan, I really appreciate her. She's top 2 or 3 for me. She's really spunky. She's by Tommy's side the entire way, helping him against Jason. And I love that chase that they have there, where she's helped release him from jail and the cops are after them and eventually catch her. And she's like, hi, Daddy. Just interesting character. And the Sheriff Garris, he's really good as well. You really care about these characters a lot more than a lot of the other Friday the 13th. When I was talking about Part 4, part of the reason I don't care for it quite as much and why I put 6 ahead of 4 in that number 2 spot is because those characters, a lot of people like them. I don't. So when Jason's killing them off, I'm cheering the entire time. These characters you do not want to die. They are very well written, very well acted, and the counselors in this movie, Megan's friends, are pretty decent. You've got Darcy DeMoss there, the promiscuous girl, and I can't remember her boyfriend's name. He's related to John Travolta, but they're having sex there in that camper, and Jason, of course, takes her face and pushes it through the wall, and that's a really cool kill. And then he ends up wrecking the Winnebago. There's that great scene where Jason's standing up on top, right as the sun's getting ready to rise up, with the flames and everything. That's a really good scene. But speaking of kills, I love that one kill of the really innocent girl. You don't see what happens, but you see the aftermath where they come in and Jason's just got blood everywhere. And it's left to your imagination, what he could have done to her to leave that room in that state. The one friend he takes and twists her head completely around. Some really original kills in this movie. But the best one has to be Sheriff Garris, where he goes to fight Jason, and at this point, even though Garris has been against Tommy, you're rooting for him. He's the one authority figure, and Jason just takes him out. Picks him up, bends him in half on the ground. I wish we could have saw more of that kill. It's very creative, but I think the MPAA made them cut that down. A few other kills that I like in this movie. It's really goofy, but the paintball sequence in the beginning, where we kind of establish the new Jason, the triple decapitation is really funny. He takes that person, throws him in the tree, and their arm rips off. There's the bloody happy face on the tree. That's kind of cringy, but it's funny at the same time, and I appreciated that. I love the music in this film. You've got Alice Cooper, who did 3 songs for this. Of course, He's Back, The Man Behind the Mask, credits. That's a great song. You've got Hard Rock Summer, when they're having that police chase. And then, my favorite one, you've got Teenage Frankenstein, where they're having sex in that Winnebago. That's one I can actually play all the way through on the guitar. I love that song. But yeah, I love the fact that Alice Cooper was attached to this. And that, he actually released these later on his Constrictor album, which is a pretty good record. As far as wonky things in this movie, it's all in the side characters, like those guys paintballing in the beginning. They're kind of like Keystone Cop characters, out there, and Jason gives them the triple decapitation. The sheriff's deputy, when he takes the gun with the laser sighting, where the light goes, you bang. He's a little bit over the top, as is the character from Welcome Back, Kotter, that Tommy is with in the beginning, who gets his heart ripped out of his chest by Jason. Some of those characters are a little bit, I don't know. You got to forgive a movie like this for having them, but I can see where that would drag it down for some. I do like the caretaker, the creepy caretaker in the graveyard where they dig up Jason, and he looks into the screen, and he's like, "Some people have a sick sense of humor," or something like that, paraphrasing. And then that scene where he's like, "What do I look like, a fart head?" And it cuts to the kids, and they're like, "Yes!" Some of that humor, I could see people not liking that, but I love it. This movie, to me, from beginning to end, is a lot of fun. I'm going to give this movie a 7.7 out of 10. It's just below Part 2 as far as my ranking of these movies. And as I said many times throughout this review, I absolutely love Jason Lives. But to me, the humor and the very strong characters and the cinematography put it over Part 4 just a little bit for me. Let me know how you rank these down in the comments and what you think of Friday the 13th Part 6. So guys, this marks the end of Friday Fridays for now. I might go back and revisit, because I've still got to do Friday 5, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason X, and the reboot. One of those is a pretty strong movie. A couple of them are pretty fun, but we'll get there eventually. If you like what you see, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I'm Andrew, and I'll see you down the line.